morning. It's Friday, April 11th, I believe, right? Might be a day off on some of my videos here lately because I think my watch is wrong. Anyway, went over and checked out a farm that's a few miles away. They need to do a little bit more tillage on. Probably gonna run over there with the field cultivator later. But want to get some waterways seeded in a few spots, mostly where tile ditches went across existing waterways last fall that didn't get overseeded because there's a big pile of dirt there. And there's a couple spots where there was a bunch of dirt piled up and holes that I want to try to get filled in a little bit before I run over them with the drill. So right now we're going to try to get hooked on to the blade, since we don't have anything on this tractor, and run over there and smooth things out quick, hopefully, and then come back and get the drill. I greased the drill last fall and then just seeded a few acres, so I shouldn't need to do too much lubrication wise to it, but do need to check tires. Not bad for one-handed. Alright, so I need to go grab a couple tools and flip up the storage stand, parking stand for the blade, and then I'm gonna go push a little bit of dirt around. Alright, this is one of the spots we're working on. If you can kind of tell, there's a tile line that goes up the hill here, and the other side of the waterway I don't personally farm, so the stuff that I've been doing on what I do farm. But there was kind of a big hole like right in here, just on this side of the field, because there's a tile line that comes up this way. So this tees in right there, and there was kind of a big hole where the connection was that settled in a bunch, which we've got it leveled out some now, but it's probably going to settle a bunch more. And it'll be apparent on the video, but kind of right in this area, there's quite a bit of dirt piled up on the waterway. So I'm going to try to pull some of that dirt towards the tractor here, so that when it settles, hopefully there won't be a giant hole there, and also there won't be a big hump in the waterway that makes it cut down the center. So here's kind of what we got so far. Got the majority of the dirt pulled back out. What I'm going to do now is kind of try to get a little bit more of this and get it piled right in front of the tile line here, right on top of the tile line. Probably where that dirt was disturbed last fall is going to settle some more. So we want to kind of try to pile it right there so that when it settles, hopefully it's close to level and doesn't make a big ditch cutting across the waterway here. So I'm going to try to just do the best that I can with the blade. Won't claim to be a finish operator by any means. And then we'll come in with the drill and run across here a couple times with a pretty heavy rate with some grass and oats. So the oats hopefully will come up fast and kind of hold the soil in place while the perennial grasses get established. Then the oats will be done in May, June, July, and we'll kind of die down, but provide some stubble or cover for that grass to get established also. So here's what we're ending up with. You can kind of see up the tile line there. I think it comes pretty straight across here, so try to just pile the dirt right on top of that. And then I'll come through here with the grain drill and seed that down, and it'll smash it down some, but I want to try to get as much dirt right over that tile trench as possible so that hopefully it ends up halfway level. When I run the drill over it, it'll pack it down a fair amount, but I'm going to leave it like this for the time being so that it can hopefully dry out a little bit, here as the sun shines on it this morning. Headed to the next spot with the blade, and mostly stopped just so I can grab this flag over here. But this is one of the spots that sort of got reworked a little bit last fall, and that I drilled dry when it was pretty wet right before things froze up, which actually got a pretty decent stand. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm going to come back through and kind of re-drill this with some oats and some perennial grass. It looks like kind of down there in the bottom where it was soupier last fall, I didn't get as much rye growth. I think there's some, I guess, because you can see the rows. I think a lot of that is probably chunks of sod from before that kind of have resprouted this spring, but getting things shaped up pretty decent, I think, and it's pretty dry right now, so I'm hoping that I can do a lot better job this time than I did last fall. It's about 11:40 now, and got done messing around with the blade, pulled it off the tractor, I'm going to change the oil on this one and get the drill pulled around here in front of the shop and get the air in the tires checked, and probably go drill those waterways after lunch, and then probably run the field cultivator over to the farm that's a few miles away and work down some stuff there. Let's see, I think there's the drain plug. Perfect. So we'll get that draining, and I believe the filter is on the other side. So we'll pop the side panel off. It's right down there. So we'll pop the side panel off and get this guy ready to go. So we'll let that finish draining, get the filter pulled off. I'm going to go pull the drill around right now so we can check the tires while this is running out, and then we'll put the plug back in and put the new filter on and fill her up. We'll get the new one on and put the plug in the pan and fill her back up. Good morning. It's Saturday, April 11th, and when I went to bed last night, it was supposed to be dry until at least 4 o'clock, and it started raining at 7 a.m., not p.m. So it didn't rain a lot, but things are wet enough that I'm going to make a mess doing most anything at the moment. I'm going to have to hold off on doing anything on the waterway. May see if the sun shines a little bit and try to go do something here later morning or this afternoon. See what the radar looks like after a while, I guess, also. But in the short term, I'm going to do some machine shed tetris. So we need to get the corn planter hooked on to the big blue tractor, and the bean planter, which is back there in the corner in the dark, hooked on to the 7220. And both of those planters can only go in the big door on the end of this shed. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of stuff in between. So basically, I'm going to have to move everything, get the planters out, and then put everything back so the planters will fit back in. I'm going to try to do a time lapse if I can get the camera set up right. So we'll see how it goes. Got everything rearranged. Got a pretty good spot here. There should be plenty of room for the bean planter and the other tractor. I'm going to pull it up by the shed and probably work on it for a little bit here and see if it dries off. The sun's kind of shining, so with a little bit of sunshine and some time, hopefully the top will get a little less sticky and greasy. There's not too much wind today, so we'll see. It's a little after 3 o'clock right now, and I think we're going to call it quits for the day. Ended up just doing the 4-wheeler on the waterway, got everything pulled in the shed. Ended up the 5230 originally was going to go in the shop, but it looked like there was plenty of space, so I just put it in here. But it's starting to sprinkle a little bit. I don't know if there's much coming, but it's been a long week and I'm ready to be done for a while. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of the Easter weekend and come back down at the beginning of the week and start working on the to-do list.